Nintendo Direct, that was a thing. I've seen very few people react to it. Also, remember your chapstick is your daily life force. If anybody knows me, dab, dab, dab. Can't leave the house without one. Anyway, let's move on. Nintendo Direct, February 9th. Mixed bag, shall we say. I've seen people have very unfavorable reviews of it for one reason and one reason only. They were expecting the big boys, the big guns, Breath of the Wild, Metroid Prime, Bayonetta 3, that's another one. They were expecting big, big, big games that I think we all kind of knew weren't coming out in the summer. Which, if you read the fine print of this direct, it was games coming out soon. And by coming out soon, they meant nothing past summer. You weren't gonna see games coming out in October, November, December. They were primarily gonna focus on the games and content coming out next month. April, May, June, July. I think the furthest they went was September, and that was it. I think a lot of people were expecting the fall games. Games you could get around Christmas time, around Thanksgiving, around Halloween, the big three holidays. But if you read the fine print, you would have known going into it, given all the rumors about Breath of the Wild coming out in November, Bayonetta 3 being still undetermined, Metroid Prime not even being announced. Sure, there's a big rumor about it being Metroid Prime 1 and only 1 as the remake. No 2, no 3, and I don't even know if the term remake is applicable. Maybe remaster, an HD remaster of Metroid Prime 1, and only 1. No 2 or 3 was mentioned in the rumor. It still could possibly happen. Far Shot, Twilight Princess and Wind Waker HD from Wii U. That still needs porting, but yeah, semantics. Everybody was expecting the juicy games, the big games, and instead we got games we already knew about that had a firm release date, like Kirby, Triangle Strategy, which didn't even get an in-depth thing, just got a quick thing. Advanced Wars 1+2. You got another Splatoon 3 thing, no date. What's up, Tangerine? I don't know if you can see Loki because he's directly behind me. Yeah, there he is. But yeah, people were expecting the meaty games, and instead we got the games we knew were coming out fairly soon. And a lot of minor, smaller scale, indie-ish like games. Live Alive, that was interesting. Reminded me a lot of Octopath Traveler, but in a more primitive kind of form. Definitely more, I guess you could say, experimental form of what Octopath Traveler was. Definitely gave me Octopath Traveler vibes. From the 8 different characters to the way the game looked in general, just screamed Octopath. Even though I don't think every single game story mode in that is, uh, the Bravely Default turn-based. But that being said, that game looks good. But we got games coming out relatively soon. We got, what? Let's just jump into the gameplay, shall we? I mean, the gameplay, the footage. What am I doing? I'll see you in a minute. Oh, I just knocked the laptop. That was embarrassing. Like I said, you had Advanced Wars, which people were semi-excited for. Nothing too great. Alright, Steve. I didn't think I'd do it, but I did. No Man's Sky. I don't know how that's going to work on Switch. I don't trust it. Let's put it that way. Super Mario Strikers, fine. I mean, I've never been one into Nintendo sports titles other than Mario Sluggers. It's the only one I ever really played in depthly in any way, shape, or form. Oh yeah, Splatoon 3, the Salmon Run. Splatoon's not one of my series, but it's one of Amber's, so therefore this is a highlight of the thing. The direct. Then you got this game, and I was kinda confused at first. And then I saw the giant robot, and I was like, "Is this an XCOM like game? Is this going to be an XCOM like game?" And I'm right. I had no idea it was Front Mission 1, and then they announced 2 coming later. Oh yeah, the Disney kart racer that is free to download. I'm sure it's going to have in-game purchases. What is it? Disney's Speed something. Speedstorm. Speed something. Just had to wait for it to smack me in the face. Oh yeah, and then you had Force Unleashed coming to the Switch, just the first game, not the second one. I was expecting them to do a Front Mission thing here, where there's like, here's Front Mission, the sequel's coming soon. Here's Force Unleashed, the sequel's coming soon. Then you got Assassin's Creed Ezio Trilogy. Oh, you know, it's the Tiny Gundam game. I vaguely remember these guys, but not to that great degree. Chrono Cross, the Radical Dreamers Edition. There you go. I don't know. I'm gonna have to look into this more because Chrono Cross I've never played. Maybe it'll be something I actually look into. And of course, Kirby, Forgotten Dream, The Forgotten Lands. Okay, so I mean to recap, again, Advanced Wars, cool. Splatoon 3, cool. Still no release date. Bum there. Um, what was it? Super Mario Mega Strikers. Cool. It's another sports game. Don't care all that too much. Some remasters and ports, and then Kirby's Forgotten Dreamland or Forgotten Land. I will say this: Kirby's Forgotten Land looks intriguing, looks interesting, but again, it's still not a game I'm going to go out of my way to get immediately, just because it's Kirby. I don't have an attachment to Kirby. So bit for MLB 22, the show, which half the people don't even care about. Then you get the Integrum masterpiece of Kingdom Hearts Cloud version, which I've seen the horror stories of this, where the Cloud versions just aren't that great. Oh yeah, you got this Riviere thing, which I've never heard of. I'm assuming this is remaster old game because the character looks familiar, and it comes with the sequel, so that's what made me think this is remaster. Or oh yeah, Portal 1 and 2. That's a fairly decent one, just like Force Unleashed. I can always do with more ways to play Portal. And you got Legend is Live. I believe this is Live Alive, which is the one that made me think a lot of Octopod Traveler. Apparently, this is his first time coming to Japan, or coming to America from Japan. And it looks like it's, a bunch of characters. Their storylines are separate. Their storylines are vastly different. Their timepieces and set pieces and all that are vastly different. And I'm sure there's probably a lot of different gameplay styles. The Sports Switch, or whatever they're calling it, follow up to Wii Sports and whatnot, and they're adding what was it, volleyball and soccer, and they want to bring golf later. So I'm just gonna skip right by that. Here, Cuphead DLC, and didn't really get into Cuphead, so you can skip that. Metroid Dread's big release, patch update, free update. Dread mode, one hit, you're dead. Rookie mode, you get regenerative abilities, and boss rush. Big bulletin points there. Earthbound is coming to Nintendo Switch, as well as Earthbound the Beginnings, which I have no idea what the fuck this is. Apparently, it was made in 89-90, because that's what the thing says. The moment I saw it, I was like, what is this? What is Earthbound? Is this like its original state when they first thought of Earthbound was that early compared to when it finally released as Earthbound? What is Earthbound the Beginnings? I don't know, and I want to know. Zombie, there's Dying Moon. Looks cool, but it's not my game. Not into a lot of 2D games. Again, it looks cool. Demon Slayer, the Hinokami Chronicles. I guess Kimetsu no Daiba. I don't know Japanese words, but this game reminds me a lot of Ninja Storm, from what I've seen. The way it looks is very Ninja Storm. Lego games, Lego Brawls, don't really care. It looks like a Smash Bros version of Lego. Mario Kart Booster Course. Mario Kart 8 is finally getting DLC, and they're remastering courses from old games. 48 of them to be exact, which I don't know what the percentage that is of the old course tracks that haven't already been in the game, because, you know, every game comes with new courses and legacy courses. And this is just them remastering only legacy courses. I'm about to say corpses. That's... I mean, I guess Mario Kart probably has its corpses hidden under the road somewhere, but a weird one there is Mario Kart Tour courses will be added. Just interesting. Which, the moment I saw this, I was like, this better be in the expansion pack. They need to do something with the expansion pack, outside of adding Earthbound and Earthbound the Beginnings, whatever that is. So when I saw this DLC, I was like, this is a big DLC. And the same veins of Happy Home Paradise and the Smash Brother Fighters. But obviously the Smash Brother Fighters DLC packs had already been announced and releasing before the expansion pack existed. It would have been nice if they just in there, but yeah, I understand why they didn't. It was already too far in. And then, of course, again, I thought that was the end, and he's like, here's one more. And I'm like, huh, this is very sort of samurai-ish vibes, feudal Japanish kind of thing. It's like, well, what is this? And then did the fade, and I saw the blue, and I was like, oh, this is Xenoblade Chronicles 3. There's no way this isn't Xenoblade Chronicles in any way, shape, or form. And then he said Idios or whatever it was. Ionis, I think is the name or the term. I don't know. See, here's the thing. Xenoblade is not really a franchise I'm big into, just because I've never played them. Never played Xenoblade Chronicles. Never played Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Never played Xenoblade Chronicles X. I've never played a single Xenoblade Chronicles game. I have seen 80, if not 90% of Chugga Conroy's first Xenoblade Chronicles Let's Play, and I have seen maybe 15 to 20% of Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Let's Play. And honestly, I will say I'm more intrigued by the first game than I am the second game, but the second game still looks fun. But the third game had me hooked. Just the vibes from the very beginning had me hooked. So hopefully Xenoblade Chronicles 3 can be my breaking point of holding off on the series and finally getting it. And I think, the YouTuber I watched who was reacting wasn't a big Xenoblade Chronicles fan, so his fan base probably wasn't a big Xenoblade Chronicles fan, so therefore they thought the whole thing sucked because Xenoblade Chronicles was the big game at the end. Because even he said the big games were just sports games, being Wii Sports and Super Mario Mega Strikers, the soccer game. But that's not fair. You also had Splatoon 3 news. You also had Earthbound and Earthbound Beginnings. You had the Mario Kart DLC. You had Advanced Wars 1 plus 2 announced a release date. And what was the other one? You also had Metroid Dread update, which was big. And I want to say that's kind of it. There's a lot of the filler games, ports, indies and ports and remasters, I'm not really counting. I wouldn't really say Disney's Speedstorm's big enough game to count. A personal interest of mine was Live Alive, but again, Kirby. Kirby was it. Kirby, The Forgotten Lands, and Chrono Cross. Yeah, so there you have it. I mean, it was a mixed bag direct. And what I mean by that is it had a lot, but it didn't have, because you could say, the powerhouses most people were wanting, which, again, makes sense if you read the fine print of basically them focusing on upcoming, very recent, current releases. And as you can tell, the theme of the direct was summer, basically. Fall and summer, or spring and summer, not fall. Did not touch fall. Or winter, obviously. It was mainly very upcoming games. So you weren't going to see anything in October, November, December. The latest they went was September, which makes sense, because September is the end of summer and the beginning of fall. Which makes me believe Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is coming out before September 20th. I always forget if it's the 19th, 20th, or the 21st. That is the first day of fall. So it makes me believe it's coming out in the beginning half of September, which would still hit that summer marketing point. So yeah, you had a lot to digest in this little thing. You had 2 franchises coming back, Super Mario Mega Strikers and Sports Switch coming. That threw me by surprise. I saw and knew immediately what it was, but I was not expecting it. Advanced Wars finally got a release date. Splatoon 3 got a little more beefed up with its salmon run being revealed. Kirby the Forgotten Land, which is its most recent, or I guess you could say impending and closest big release date, being March 25th, and being one of their biggest IPs in Kirby. You had Chrono Cross, some Dreamer edition. It's something starts with an R. I always forget the word, and I'm highly curious of, because when I first saw it, I was like, "Is this the actual original Chrono Cross game, or is this something else, like a spin-off sequel?" I think it's the original, but I'm not for sure. So I'm highly intrigued to check out what that is, and I would consider it a big enough point to consider it as a big contention for why this direct is good. Obviously, after that, you had the big 3 at the end, which was Earthbound and Earthbound the Beginnings coming to Nintendo Switch Online, which I still have no idea what Earthbound the Beginnings is exactly. Again, I'm not the biggest Earthbound connoisseur either. The Mario Kart Course Booster DLC, which thankfully is coming to Expansion Pass. You need to do more with Expansion Pass to make it more viable for the price you're putting it at. I get it, third party. You don't own everything that came out on the 64 anymore. Or Rare. And then, of course, after that, you had Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Again, I'm hoping it's my breaking point to get into the series, because like I said, I've never played Xenoblade Chronicles 1 or 2. My only experience with those 2 games is through Chugga Conroy, but I've always been interested in them. I've just never pulled the gun, so to speak, on them. And again, my personal interest of the entire Direct in a strange way is probably Xenoblade, but aside from that is Live Alive, which has a lot of Octopath vibes, and I think it came out before Octopath. I don't know. All I know is it never left Japan until now, which I don't know when it came out originally. So there's that. So, yeah, in layman's term, I would not say this direct was bad. I would not say this direct is awful. I would not say this direct was abysmal or a waste of time. Not by any means. I would say the direct was around average. I'd give the direct a B minus if I had to give it a letter grade. It had a lot of good and very interesting games and reveals and announcements, but nothing bombshell breaking. But I don't want to put it in average because I don't think it was that bland. I mean, if you don't like Xenoblade, you don't like Nintendo Switch Online, you don't like Kirby, and you don't like Splatoon, or another way to say tactical strategy games, because there's quite a few on here. If you don't like any of that, or a lot of that, and you only liked a couple of them, you would probably have a rough time with this direct and not like it at all. But, you know, that's why I give it a B minus, because it's in that kind of middle ground. A lot of people are going to enjoy it because a lot of people are going to enjoy those things I just said, and a lot of people are going to find it lackluster because they're not going to like a lot of those things at all. They just want Zelda. They just want Metroid Prime. They just want Bayonetta 3. And it's quite obvious that those games are not coming out in the summer. That those games are being saved for the for the fall and or winter, meaning late 2022, early 2023. And our Zelda HD remasters, they're just in limbo because Nintendo needs to find a time where they're dead to release it and have it make sense. Because you know what? Nintendo just wanted to say, screw you, Zelda. We're going to hold on to the good things that would have made this anniversary special and hold them for when your anniversary is over. But with that, I hope you have a great day. Remember, only you can be the best you can possibly be. If you liked the video, like, comment, feel like it's super special, awesome. Subscribe if they're really mailed, and tell me what you thought of the Direct. Did you think it was good? Did you think it was bad? Did you think it was forgetful? What did you think? Ta-ta.